Smash Ultimate Major Competition returns this week with a couple of big American events. The biggest of the weekend is the Super Major Momocon 2022, with over 600 entrants and a whopping 20 players in attendance who have made top 8 at a 2022 major event. Combo Breaker is also happening in the Midwest, with over 300 players in attendance, including the Pandas. That said, it's not like the Smash Ultimate world stopped spinning in the time between our last major, Kagaribi 7, and this weekend's majors. Strap in as we take you through all the regional action that has taken place over the past month and get you ready for the summer of Smash. Let's go back 2 weekends and travel all the way across the world to Australia, where Battle Arena Melbourne 12 was the biggest Ultimate tournament held anywhere on planet Earth across the past 2 weeks. Battle Arena Melbourne, aka BAM, has been Australia's premier fighting game event for over a decade. But thanks to the pandemic, 2022 marked the first time the event was able to run since 2019. BAM 11, Australia's previous largest Smash Ultimate event of all time, is also the largest tournament ever won by a King K rule player. Ben Gold, aka Mr. L, took the event through winners, taking out German Shulk True4 and Australia's best Mr. Game & Watch player and a staple of Australian top 8's Extra in the process. A lot has changed in those 3 years. Ben Gold dropped K rule for Wolf and hasn't been competing much in the post-lockdown era, attending just one offline tournament in 2022 according to our database, and making top 8, naturally. The only DLC characters that were released at the time of BAM 11 were Piranha Plant and Joker, the latter of which had been out for all of 1 month. Ultimate in 2022 is, simply put, a different game. Young Link player J-Dizzle, though, has been one of Australia's most consistent smashers dating back to the Smash 4 days, when he was the country's top Toon Link and a regular in its top 10. In Ultimate, harnessing the power of Young Link, J-Dizzle topped the country's only pre-lockdown official ranking back in 2019. However, at BAM 11, he had one of his most disappointing runs ever, finishing 17th as the 3rd seed for a -6 seed performance rating that remains his worst at a tournament of at least 200 players. There's no way he could have known it would take 3 years before he would get another crack at it, but J-Dizzle turned BAM 12 into a tournament of redemption. For the full breakdown of his run, check out our YouTube short on BAM 12, but here's what you really need to know. After losing to the country's top Robs, Seb Pro 101 and top 16, J-Dizzle rattled off 9 straight wins, including the run back over Seb Pro and wins over some of his toughest Australian competition, DD and Extra twice. Extra has been Australia's best Mr. Game & Watch player since Smash 4, but Australia is a meta with plenty of swords. Just among the top players at BAM, there is Shrix, who took 4th with Roy and Sephiroth, Raze with Pit and Link, who we'll discuss a bit more later, Kanaji, who made a run to 5th with mostly Shulk, as well as content mogul Pop T1, who used mostly Game & Watch and Wolf in his run to 7th at BAM, but has won Australian events with his Lucina in the past. Extra has been playing more and more Wolf to deal with all those pointy objects as of late, and while it wasn't enough to stop J-Dizzle's losers rampage in grand finals, it did pick up a big win over the Shrix Sephiroth to punch Extra's ticket to winners finals. Extra has been tantalizingly close to a major win twice now in Australia, taking 2nd at both Ultimate BAMs, and more time with the Wolf might just be what he needs to break through. Rounding out top 3 was Raze, who used all Link in his stream matches en route to 3rd place, falling to Extra and J-Dizzle after dominating all other comers on winner's side. An incredible talent with a truly ridiculous library of Twitter clips, Raze would probably have plenty of results like this under his belt if it weren't for the pandemic. But BAM 12 marked just his first offline event of at least 200 players since 2020, and he topped out at 5th at the PGRU C-Tier event Melbourne Esports Open back in 2019. He also tied with J-Dizzle for 17th back at BAM 11, as both fell prey to Ben Gold's Killer Croc. Raze's 6-round gain from BAM 11 to BAM 12 just underscores his status as one of Australia's most improved. Moving from the corner of the globe to a corner of the United States, the biggest tournament in North America since Low Tide City was the Portland, Oregon Regional Back in Blood 4 back on May 14th and 15th, the same weekend as BAM. On top of many of the Pacific Northwest top players, Back in Blood 4 featured invited talent like Fatality, Elegant, Louis Money, Leon, Send, and Apollo Kage. Many of the invaders feasted, with Sen taking the tournament through winners and dropping just 5 games across his 9 sets. He was taken to a deciding game just twice. In his last best-of-3 set against Washington Greninja and Robin player Capsize, and in Grand Finals against Louis Money. The NorCal, Palu, and Fox was able to get a set-off Send at Port Priority 6, but that's the only win for Luis in his last 9 sets against Send. Their offline set count now sits at 10-4 in Send's favor. Apollo Kage was able to keep his hot streak going, adding a 3rd place at Back in Blood to his 13th place at Pound 2022 and 7th place at Low Tide City. He picked up his best 2 wins of this 3-tournament hot streak at Back in Blood, 3-1 victories over Fatality and Louis Money that earned him a spot in Winners Finals. Dating back to Level Up Arena 4 in March, Apollo Kage has now outplaced his seed at 5 straight tournaments of at least 200 players, compiling a cumulative +9 seed performance rating in that stretch. All that said, even though none of them managed to crash top 4, PNW players still made their mark on the tournament with some huge wins. 24th seed Jojo de Hobo, one of the US's top Toon Links, both posted the event's top seed performance rating at +4 and was the highest placing PNW player at 5th place. A 6-set losers run with wins over Spam Cop and Ludo made this JoJo's best finish ever at a tournament of this size, besting his 13th at Back in Blood 2. Both 7th place finishers were PNW representatives as well, Lemon and Ludo, both of whom fell into losers early before rattling off 5-set losers runs to qualify for top 8. Lemon had a particularly difficult losers run after falling early to Mr. Cool, formerly known as Pokepen. He had to take down in-region threats Mystery Soul and Jared as King 1, as well as Invader Leon in order to claw his way back to top 8. To round out the action from the weekend of May 14th and 15th, we head down south to Alabama and Code Crimson, a 196 entrant bracket after DQs that is the state's largest bracket since PGstats started tracking weekly results in mid-2021. Jake won countless online tournaments in the lockdown era and has racked up some serious results at majors, like 9th at InfinityCon 2021 and 3rd at Glitch Infinite. But prior to Code Crimson, his biggest bracket win came at Guildhouse's Pre-Genesis 8 Weekly, a 126 entrant bracket. Jake's first regional win nearly didn't come to pass. He was dominant through winners, facing only 1 elimination game against Wolf main Danny in winners quarters. But Min Min main Zurzel, who was featured earlier this month on the channel as part of our dive into the Southeast region, was nearly able to flip the script, earning the reset on Jake and taking a 2-0 lead in the second set of Grand Finals before Jake was able to turn it around and lock down the championship. For those who haven't been paying attention to Alabama Smash, where Zurzel has been making waves for months, he announced his presence to the world in a big way. On his way to second place, Zurzel took down Omega, Sanito, and Goblin twice. The fact that Zurzel was able to follow up his Game 5 victory over Goblin in winners quarters with a 3-1 win in losers semis proves that his big run wasn't just about the surprise factor. Not that you could be blamed for being surprised. It's also not that this was Zurzel's best result at a 200-person offline tournament. It's his only result. But considering he followed it up with a 7th place finish at Texas Regional Heartbeat this past weekend, the surprise excuse is quickly losing its effectiveness. Georgia continues to prove its strength in the Southeast. Even with the state's top 2, Cola and Fatality, absent, Georgia still managed to claim 3rd and 5th through Sanito and Omega respectively. Sanito was able to take out Zurzel in winners 3-2 before falling by the same score in the losers finals runback. Omega, meanwhile, recovered from a big upset by Danny to embark on a 6-set losers run to 5th that included wins over another top Georgia player Mugen and Mississippi's number 1 Yosifu. A number of 100+ entrant regionals took place on the weekend of May 14th to 15th, including Ohio's Smashland, Quebec's LAN ETS 2022, and Japan's Karisuma 12. For more on those and other tournaments, check out our weekly local Ultimate Winners post at PGstats.com, link below in the description. The biggest tournament of the weekend of May 21st to 22nd was the French fighting game major Stunfest 2022, which drew 195 ultimate entrants after DQs. With the notable exception of Gluttony, much of France's top level was in attendance. Upsets were sparse as top seeds held through most of the tournament's early going, with the exception of Rob Nin, who took down France's top wolf player Orion in pools. Nin, a Rob player since the Brawl days, is a veteran of the French scene and had been a regular in local top 8s in the weeks heading up to Stunfest. But this was by far his best performance at an ultimate tournament of this size, besting his 9th place finish at the Wanted 2nd Anniversary tournament back in October 2019. And his +5 SPR was the highest of any player at Stunfest. Orion was able to shrug off the early upset, as he would go on the event's biggest losers run, winning 7 straight sets on his way to 4th place, culminating in a win in the run back over Nin. Orion was on a warpath, dropping just 5 games across the 7-set winning streak and taking out major French threats like Naskino, Modzai, and Ryukai. OJ has long been considered the top Captain Falcon in France, but he had been shut out of top 8s at regional level events since June, when he placed 2nd at Wanted Season 4 Chapter 2. He was finally able to get past Raflo, one of his biggest bracket demons, as he broke an 8-set losing streak against the young Palutena to punch his ticket to winners finals. He did it again in the losers run back, the first time OJ has won back-to-back sets over Raflo since the very first tournament the two played at, ICO x GG back in August 2020, where OJ won both sets of Grand Finals. OJ would fall in Grand Finals to Leon, who completely coasted to victory, dropping 3 games in his entire bracket run, 2 of which came to OJ in Winners Finals. Leon is on fire right now, as this marks his 2nd win at a bracket of at least 150 players in the past 2 months, as he also took Artscade Open Cup number 1 in March with wins over Siski and Homika, among others. His biggest win prior came at the 128 entrant Bulpif Arena number 6. Of course, a lot of that has to do with how often he was competing against Gluttony, who has been absent thanks to his recent international training arc. But right now, it's looking like France may be heading for a summer of Leon. For more on the other regionals of the week of May 21st to 22nd, like North Carolina's Rhythm and Beats Fever, Switzerland's Exodus 3, Texas's Heartbeat 4, Mexico's Wizards Fest, and more, we once again implore you to check out our map posts, linked below in the description. Seriously, please go check them out, they're so cool, I promise. With these tournaments now squarely in the rearview mirror, we prepare for the Summer of Smash, which begins in earnest with this weekend's action at Momocon and Combo Breaker. As always, we'll be providing our coverage of these events, so subscribe to PGstats.com to keep up with everything you need to know as a Smash fan. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want more content like this, go check out our website at PGstats.com. Seriously, go check it out, it's really cool. And follow us for more information. I've been Kimona, and if you want to keep up with me, check me out on Twitter at @thatkimona. Thanks again, and we'll see you all next time.